So you mean to tell me there's an actual card for all? What is it? In, out,
We're,
pause.
we we were in, now we're out.
Hey, remember
No
to
pause.
control and conjugate your vowels and all that other stuff. We try and get to this money. We found the cheat code.
I still think that was a small piece of the issue. I think the
I
other
don't
issue was
I don't
what.
I don't disagree with you at
Yeah,
all.
but if there's an issue and we fix the issue,
That's all I'm worried about.
haha.
Haha. Yeah, that's all I'm worried about.
All right, so yes, there is a card, and I'm glad you reminded me because I'm thinking like this is like future playable footage. This is real time. Answer your question. Yes, there is a card, and it's a stack card, but it's not a great card.
Okay, when you say it's not a great card, are we talking like WWE middle of the year, midsummer pay-per-view where the card looks like trash on paper, but performs like Big Five?
There are two matches worthy of pay-per-view. The rest of this is a Dynamite episode.
Yikes. Okay, all right. I'm almost under the impression now we should just hit the button and do this one first.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Hold what you got. And let's see how we do this.
Hey, hey. You know who ain't gonna win. You know who ain't gonna win. You know who ain't gonna win. You say that bitch again. I know who ain't gonna win. You know who ain't gonna win. You know who ain't gonna win. We say that again. I want 1, 2, 3. Get your ass out. I want 1, 2, 3. Get the gone. 1, 2, 3. Get your ass out. I want 1, 2, 3. Get the gone.
Yeah. Way to go with the real-time censorship.
AEW style too. I missed one.
Hey man, now you making my post-edit job harder.
Nah, because I didn't do them on the last one, but it made it to this one. Welcome to another Broken Pencil Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast infused with hip hop. I am Wood.
You know how it's made, and you
Fred
stay classy.
James.
I'm Suave Burgundy. We have got to do a show open at some point.
I'm finally settled in.
I understand y'all here buying big time watches and living the big life, and you know what I'm saying.
Nah, it's the same jewels I've had for the last 3 seasons, son.
I'm not.
Cass ain't ready for this, son.
Y'all look at me. I ain't going for it. I know better. I know way better. Better than you guys. And I won't lie to you.
Better than you.
Better than you. How you doing, player? Better than you.
Better than you.
You see what I'm saying?
That's like, a real jerk thing to say.
It is. It is among the jerkiest. Yeah. It is dripping in jerk sauce.
What's crazy is, and you know it.
Speaking of jerk, I had some of the best jerk chicken I've had in the city.
Do tell.
In a long time. Heroes. Oh. Here's the thing, though. Shout out to Uncle Trips. Here's the thing. I had not been to the building that Heroes is in since it was Ebony Eyes. And for those of you who live in the city and know what that is, that's a long time ago.
God, that's what that was. Yo.
You feel me? Right next to the liquor store.
Yeah, yes.
Hey, we have me, CG, Don, Ogre, Hall. We all have incredible stories from that place. The whole zoo got incredible stories from that place.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Me and CG had the greatest fire drill of all time in the parking lot and preserving our safety. It's a whole mini series, but yes, they have some fantastic jerk chicken.
Can we? And I don't need you to commit 100% to this, especially on this podcast, but can we round up the troops and possibly do like a short run podcast series detailing this life of a mini series that you're talking about?
I'm 100% for it, and I'm almost certain we can get 90% of the people necessary. Because if I say we can get 100%, that's dice roll. That's a real dice roll.
I'll gladly produce it from this side, and I just need it to happen. Content.
Three are an absolute given. One just has to be coordinated properly, and I guess that's the same for the other. Yeah. So the Horsemen can do the podcast. The Horsemen and JJ Dillon can do the podcast. We just gotta iron out some stuff, or maybe we all just do it remote.
Either way. I mean, because I'm going to be on this side of the screen regardless. So
you see, we doing all this talking about other stuff because I don't know how fleshed out this card is.
So, do you want to play a game inside of a game?
If we have to play a game inside of a game, that tells me everything I need to know.
No. It's not that kind of party at all.
Oh, okay, we'll see.
Here we go.
We'll see, my boy. We'll see.
First off,
nope.
For the sake of your information, Pencil Pusher, today is Friday, September 1st. Year of our Lord.
Year of our Lord.
I said year of our Lord.
Year of our Lord.
20 and 20. Tree.
Wiggle wee convenient, bring me your dinner bucket.
Let the church say.
Amen. Belated birthday shouts out to my baby.
Hey.
Happy 7th, baby.
Happy 7th, princess.
Avid listener and gangrene aficionado.
Let's see if I can get this right.
A whole lot of gang.
Good job. Way to go. Extra cookie for you for dessert. Yeah, you earned it.
It's a lot harder than it looks. Pause.
You got to crunch the Oreos on top of your ice cream and whatnot.
Yeah. All right.
Advance to the lightning round.
You already know how we play. You know who ain't gonna win. The game inside of the game. No Triple H is.
It's time to play the game.
There are, as it sits, and we gave you the date for this specific reason.
Right.
We never know when a card is completely full on AEW because typically at Dynamite we can round it out. There are 2 more shows that are supposed to be both live. No, I'm sorry. One of them is going to be live, which is Collision. What's tonight's show? Rampage was supposedly taped this past Wednesday. I'm sure they can use liberties if they wanted to because they have the venue for the whole week.
I would hope somebody in charge, or at least somebody close to somebody in charge would have said, you know what? These are 2 pay-per-views, 2 consecutive weekends. We don't have the entire week to finish booking this card out. Whatever's gonna rope the consumer into buying this second event, we should probably have fleshed out by Wednesday. You start booking and adding matches on Friday, and then what's essentially the go-home night before show on Collision on Saturday.
You're booking a match for a pay-per-view the night before the pay-per-view.
I mean,
how is that?
If you're giving us like an added attraction, cool. You book some last-minute stuff like, okay, this is a special bonus. You do that when you have a card fully established with a main event that's going to draw, with a semi-main that people care about, like with some organization and some whatnot.
As a performer, as an artist, you and I, and you as an athlete, you and I can both attest to the fact that doing what gets you the money, if you will, is much different at home than it is psychologically in real-time efforts. Would you agree with that?
Flesh that out for me a little bit. Pause.
If you were at the crib playing football,
or
if you're at the crib rapping, or you're at the crib DJing a set, it's a different level of psychological exercise that's involved with doing that in practicality in front of an audience.
Yeah.
Because you're putting on for people, not just yourself.
Right. So more of the technical element is what takes place at home. You're doing the art. So it's almost it's the audience of one.
Working out is what you do at home.
Right.
But when you go to the field or to the stage, it's a completely different beast than working out at home.
Factual.
So
the whole mantra is like you play like you practice, but at the same time, practice speed and game speed are not the same because you're doing mental reps too.
Well, so people may think I'm grasping at straws here when I say this, but like,
now I get what you're getting at.
Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision are television shows. Weekly produced television shows with similar formats, time scheduling, things of that nature are pretty consistent. All In, All Out are pay-per-views or premium live events where there are no things like, commercial breaks. You have a time, like there's a schedule involved that needs to be followed so everything can be compacted into, we'll call it 4 hours worth of main show. But you have a little bit more liberty to perform, which means you're physically exerting yourself more. Psychologically, you're doing more damage because you're in front of a larger audience. So you want to make sure you don't drop the ball. You also want to make sure that you show up. Like, am I making sense here?
You are. Here's why I say it doesn't apply as much to what we're preparing to see it All Out. Large part of the actual performing roster for All Out are people who were not on All In. So in that respect, what you're hoping for is that those people who were not on All In, and typically when you look at the participants, they're not featured a great deal. This is the potential for their coming out party. So you hope they've been at home doing the mental reps so that when this opportunity comes around and shows itself, you can grasp it and not let it slip through your fingers. Because you might not get another opportunity to have a pay-per-view where you're not competing with certain people who normally would be occupying the card. You're probably going to have a longer match than what you would normally have. Certainly longer than what you'd have on Dynamite, maybe even longer than what you would get on Collision. You're going to be in a featured position where you can really acquire some real estate. So are you ready to invest in self, or is this just going to be another day at the office?
I hear you. Let me add this caveat.
All right.
If you're booked for a match on a TV show that you are on present the night before it takes place, now, of course, I'm sure you know that this is going to, I don't think there's any surprise booking that's going to happen, but for the sake of the audience.
Are you sure there's no surprise booking?
I would hope not.
Look,
I would hope not.
We've come to the understanding that Jacksonville is not Stanford. Jacksonville does things completely different than Stanford does, and they are not above throwing a monkey wrench or rolling a live grenade into the room.
So now you're actually about to feed into the point I want to make, or the question I want to pose.
Okay.
You show up at Collision on Saturday.
All right.
Live show. You kick off the show at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8:45 Central Time. You get thrown into a match Sunday night.
Extra check.
But how is your? Are you ready for that match with whomever?
If you're not, you shouldn't be a professional.
That part. However, do y'all have chemistry?
We'll find out.
It's the FAFO situation?
It's FAFO, because look, what's the alternative? The alternative is to be in catering. the alternative is basically ring crew. So either
you be ready or you be ready.
You know what I'm saying? You be ready to cash out or be ready to pay out. Which one you gonna do?
Okay.
Like I can now, especially for a group that doesn't. Okay, the group wrestles how many times a week? A maximum of 3 times a week. 4 if there's a pay-per-view.
I was about to say 4. If you're really unlucky, you gotta either what is it, Dark Elevation or Dark?
All that stuff gone.
Is it? Oh, I'm out the loop.
Far as I know, I mean, I thought a lot of that stuff got shut down when Ring of Honor. Well, okay, 5. If there's something
Ring of Honor, yeah.
So the max you could work without booking indie shots, but the max you could work for Jacksonville related events is 5 times in a week.
And possibly even 3 times in one night.
That's the weekend for most of modern age WWF, modern age Stanford. That's a weekend. These are professional athletes who are trained and ready to go at the highest level, or so we are led to believe. Yep. So I don't feel as though 5 times in a week for the level of exposure that they are potentially going to receive is too much to ask. And if it is, take a knee. Somebody else will fill that spot.
Younger pencil pushers, do yourself a favor and Google 1980s territory A and B rosters.
Fam, you would never survive that.
You could be on the A roster for 6 months, and in 1 week, somebody on the A roster get hurt, and you get called from to the B roster, or the B roster gets called to the A roster. And
there's an afternoon. They doing these like there's a matinee and then there's an evening show,
with the possibility that if you go on first in the matinee, you go on last in the evening show and got to drive to get there because the flights are already booked.
There are no flights like that in the 80s, fam. It's all highway. So you could be on the A show in the matinee and then the B show for the main event. And they're like 3 hours apart. So you wrestle first on one, get in the car and drive to the other one.
I know WWF was notorious for that. I know Mid-South was notorious for that. I don't know if Florida had. Mid-Atlantic too.
Wrestling was notorious for that. You feel me? Like you really on the cool. You kind of have Kevin Nash and the crew and the clique to thank for some of that because folks weren't getting guaranteed contracts.
They broke all that up.
Yeah, like back then they weren't getting guaranteed deals. So if you you don't work, you don't eat, you don't grind, you don't shine. Shout out to Mike Jones.
Guarantee who?
Mike Jones.
Who?
Rewind it.
Guaranteed deals came with terms and conditions, which handshake deals didn't. So if they told you need to be somewhere, it's either you be there or you be gone.
Right.
Back on task though.
Yeah.
The game within the game. Okay, as it sits right now, the reason why we even dropped the date, as it sits right now, there are 9 matches on this card.
Okay.
I want you, before we talk about the match, to pick. I'm looking at the card as it sits from Wikipedia because we know everything on the internet's true.
Facts.
Pick a number between 1 and 9. And I'll give you the match that's associated with the number next to it. Just because this whole conversation, this whole show started with the idea that there was not a card big enough for us to even have this show.
This feels like it's going to go off the rails soon. So here's what I'm going to do.
I need you to exercise those same things that you told me earlier.
Okay. All right. Be careful what you wish for. So you want me to pick a number, right?
Yep.
7.
Better Than You, Baby, versus the winner of the ROH Tag Team Battle Royal tonight on Rampage. Suave, who ain't gonna win?
Whoever wins the Battle Royal it'd be a better game to try to pick who's going to win the battle royal at this point. Like
you're not going to have the winner of an eliminator tournament beat the champions who were the winners of an eliminator tournament.
Wait. Again, we're looking at this with like wrestling historian logic, how things have progressed over the however many decades we've been watching wrestling.
Oh.
Jacksonville very well could look. Who's in charge? Who's in charge? That question is way more loaded after some other stuff that's happened. But yes, for the sake of this conversation, who's in charge?
Boy.
So okay, if Kanos is in charge, I could very well see a situation where Taven and Bennett win the battle royal, go to All Out, and with some wonky finish, end up winning the ROH tag titles. I can see that. I can see that being booked.
Because technically it's not AEW, it's Ring of Honor.
Number one. So neither one of those two people are going to appear on Ring of Honor television because there isn't any television. It's just streaming.
We also have someone else responsible before it gets to the person that's in charge. And he is Ring of Honor faithful. But he's also a great businessman. And in the world of today's business, one Vincent Kennedy McMahon told us about 25 years ago, there are no boos, there are no yays. There are just reactions.
I want people to bury that logic deep Nintendo 64 controller deep.
Wow. That is the precursor to all things video games today. What are you talking about?
I want you to I don't want you to use the old school it's PlayStation controller, but like the off-brand, because that's exactly what it looked like.
Oh yeah.
But I want you to find a Nintendo 64 controller and take it deep into the bowels of the ocean and bury that nonsense down there.
Rest in peace, Scott Hall. Down where?
You know where.
Down there. All right.
Like, yes, there are boos. Yes, there are yays. People get invested because of emotional attachment.
That's money talking, Swab.
It's triggers. They're called triggers for a reason. Don't give me that you just want loud, because there's a difference between loud, I'm enjoying myself and getting my money's worth, and loud, we want a refund.
I don't know if I've ever said this on this show or not, but no.
We've said a lot.
This is a trip down memory lane here, history.
Okay.
Back in Mid-South, Jim Duggan and Ted DiBiase had a feud.
Oh.
And they had one feud that was the best dressed man in Mid-South. Was it DiBiase or was it Duggan? And they both came to the ring in tuxedos. And
go crazy about something, man.
I don't think that was used because the Fantastics were coming in, so that was their theme music. So I don't think that was even used as part of the vignettes leading up to this. But Watts was the one that was like hosting the thing, and he told the crowd basically what I just told you, like, you know, a boo is as loud as a cheer because they're going by like a VU meter. So they looked at the needle to determine who the winner was based on the reaction. So no matter how loud DiBiase got booed, it could have went into his favor if they booed loud enough against Duggan, who was obviously the over baby face at that time. So I don't know. Just an anecdote. Go back and take a look at it if you want to see what I'm talking about.
See, if you think all noise is measured equally,
it is not.
That is your first mistake. whether you're an audiophile or just someone trying to observe your environment, all noise is not measured equally.
And there's a term in studio technology, GIGO, that's directly related to noise. Garbage in, garbage out.
I thought it was get it and get on.
It's that too.
Hey, get in, get on.
It's like a new lyric for
get in, get on, get in, get on.
That's what you gonna do.
I'm saying, bro, we ain't got all day.
Got the whole radio. Got the whole radio version with new verses, please.
In and get on.
All right, give me another number. 1 through 9. Don't give me 7.
3.
Chris Statlander versus Ruby Soho for the AEW TBS Championship. Suave, who ain't gonna win?
Ruby Soho.
I'm absolutely with you that Ruby Soho will not win.
All the buttons you could have pushed. Of all the triggers available on that beautiful machine that you have, pause. You keep going.
No, don't judge me.
You're a child.
Ruby Soho ain't gonna win. All the drama that's going on with that.
But
that
she need a win so bad.
That loser click, man.
Like we saw the implosion of the Outcast, so they stop buying on merch and colors.
Yeah, you would never see the implosion of Gang Green over here, pimp. But what y'all doing with our colors, man?
We have, even if we could have a full knockdown drag out. We have already figured out.
Swap. Wings,
cigars. That's it. We figured it out. That's it.
Wait,
and the show will reign forever.
Hold on, Suave. I'm pointing at you. I'm mad at you.
I see some cigars. Here's me pointing at you. I don't feel right about what you're doing.
Lemon pepper.
Try something else.
Hennessy barbecue.
It's overrated. Try something else.
Smoky John's.
You're close, but I can get them without you. Try again.
Ooh. Garlic Parmesan with the shaved Parmesan and the fresh pressed garlic with butter on top.
Now you're talking more like a person who has an understanding of the finer things in life. You got to mix flavors when you're dealing with me. I need, like, if you were going to send me lemon pepper, it needed to be lemon pepper wet. And for those of you who watch Atlanta, you know exactly what I mean.
Dude, get your TV watching up, messing with us, man. I'm telling you.
Spicy ranch. Gochujang.
Have you ever had tossed blue cheese?
No.
Fam, at this house.
There's a certain level of sauce I'm not willing to go past with my wings. Like, I know some people they want it to seem like they have dipped the wing in an entire bucket of sour cream when they come to the table. It's not me. I'm not that guy.
I need about 25 to 30% of my wing dipped in whatever sauce I decide to dip it in. But the one I don't,
crispy skin, I need flavor, I need not burnt.
Suave, the one I don't dip is when we toss the blue cheese, fam.
Okay, wait. Are you tossing blue cheese crumbles or blue cheese dressing?
Yes. The answer is yes.
I need to see the consistency of that.
You got to see what the missus does with it. So it's a little, because
say less. I trust the missus.
Yeah, no, this is at this house, not.
But if somebody else tries this out in the world, I don't know.
No. That's at this house.
That's different.
No,
that's different. Okay, say less. Done.
All right. We got 3. We got 7 out the way. Give me another number. 1 through 9.
8.
Here we go. Showtime. This is one of the 2 I was talking about. Let me get this out the way right now.
You said Showtime. I feel like Sting is in here somewhere.
Nope, not.
So look, you see how crazy we look now? We thought we would get Sting Jericho.
We thought way things are looking, we're probably going to end up getting. Well, no,
we're not.
No,
we're not. You blew it. You had one job. One.
Hold up. See if I get this again.
Whole lot of gang shit.
I got it. Shane Taylor.
Gang.
Versus Samoa Joe, the king also of television.
Gang. The reigning king of television.
Ring of Honor World World Television Championship.
You put heavyweight on it. Heavyweight television.
This is a super heavyweight matchup.
It's going to be some stiff shots in this match.
The best forearm shiver possibly in the history of the business in Shane Taylor.
I'm willing to bet on that.
We've seen it up close and personal a couple times. One almost too close.
Say, man. There's a lot of things I'm not scared of in life. But I'm not lining up to take none of that.
And I thought about it too, but I was also supplied up. So there's that.
Oh, we're gonna have to be. Like, eventually we're gonna get this milestone we're trying to achieve. We're gonna get it. But yeah, that's gonna have to be a supply and demand situation because there's no way.
I don't want to go against the king of television, but in this one, I'm going to. 3 weeks in a row, this man would have lost on television if we do this. The one that stands to lose the most behind this is Shane Taylor. I have Samoa Joe not winning this competition. Suave, who you got?
I have Samoa Joe not winning for the simple fact I do not pick against gang. That's it. That's the only thing I have.
That's cheating. That logic is cheating in this match, and you know it.
Why?
Because it's where the gang goes, the gang goes.
Okay, congratulations. You got the catchphrase right. What's the problem?
It's gang on both sides.
Does that make my statement false?
I don't like you. Pick another number.
You got to like me, baby. I love me, and that's good enough for both of us.
1 through 9.
Let me get 5 of them.
With Don Callis at ringside, Konosuke Takeshita versus Kenny Omega.
This has to finally be over. Takeshita not gonna win.
I'm sick of him not winning on anything. Well, he actually got the pinfall it all in. He ain't getting it all out. He ain't winning.
You see what I'm saying? So okay, the Elite threw a curveball in here. Pause. I said, and I
threw 2 curveballs.
I'll admit that I was wrong. I said there was no way anybody from the Elite was taking an L over last weekend. All they did was take L's. So, okay, I was wrong. I accept it. I understand the PR move that was. Boy.
It's using one of my favorite words to use as of late on this show. Not that I just learned it or anything, but they took a very pragmatic approach to solving a problem.
Say, the Court of Public Appeals is wide open because of that. I understand what they did, why they did it, but that's just not what I was thinking. So, hey, kudos to you for fooling me.
All right. So far, so good. Pick another number, Suave.
4.
Contain yourself. I'm going to warn you when I need to say something, but this is one I need to warn you for. Contain yourself. For the AEW International Championship, your challenger, Jon Moxley, taking on your champion, Orange Cassidy. Suave, who ain't going to win?
It's 2 of Kanos's favorites, so this is a tough decision. I don't see how you make it believable that Jon Moxley doesn't win without some massive corniness going on.
Did you?
It's time for Orange Cassidy to move on to something else.
That this too cool for school gimmick?
No. Here's the thing.
Timing of that phrase right there.
Here's the thing.
That gimmick ain't going nowhere. That Too Cool for School is gonna be here until the day he ain't. Regardless of whether you think it jumped the shark, regardless of what you think about the presentation of it, it is not going anywhere. I personally think it's much better, or I would like it much better from him if he was a heel. It would be funnier to me. It'd be more entertaining to me as a heel for him to do all of those I don't care, laissez-faire type maneuvers if he was a heel.
I don't think there's any way you get him over with that gimmick as a heel.
What?
Hear me out.
Okay.
You may have his character be a heel, but you think the crowd is going to turn on him?
They don't have to. Look, AEW live events are like going to Bizarro World.
You know what? We can stop because look who he's in the ring with. Prime example right there. Jon Moxley is a full-blown heel that has not stopped getting cheered at all.
And who has face entrance music. Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
License-inducing entrance music.
You feel me? Like, Jericho never changed his music throughout his heel run. So, like, again,
but it was Jackson, that was his. You're talking about his old, yeah.
Jacksonville and all of its different event epicenters are Bizarro World. So nothing has to be the way that you've always known it to be. I guess that's part of the beauty of what AEW is. If you were to turn Orange Cassidy heel, the only difference is his opponents and maybe who you surround him with. You have to solidify him being a heel by breaking him away from the best friends. That has to end. You get him a heater. Take one of the large individuals in the back who have nothing to do and don't have any camera time. Let them be his heater. And that's it. Done deal. Crocodile done deal. If Big Bill wasn't doing something right now.
Thank you. Big Bill is the first person that came to mind.
Because he can talk in the instances where it's Shawn Michaels and Diesel in reverse.
I'll tell you somebody else who could benefit from being somebody's heater, like Orange.
Who that?
Lance.
That look, 1A.
He's been on the milk carton this entire year for AEW. What are y'all doing? This man came off of one of the best reinventions we've seen at 40 almost ever. And the pandemic just got rid of him.
Look, Murder Hawk been at the crib getting gains. We ain't getting no usage.
He's still working in Japan though. I'll give him that. So that's a great thing.
Exactly. International champion material.
Speaking of international championship, who ain't gonna win?
I'm gonna go ahead and pick Orange Cassidy. Ain't gonna win. I know I'm setting myself up for failure. It's time.
It's time to come off that belt. It's time to change something. I'm with you. Your champion will not retain. Pick another number.
9. What up, Romo?
Your Ring of Honor world champion.
There's a lot of Ring of Honor going on here.
This ain't a world championship match.
Oh, that tag match. Yeah, they could have saved that.
Ring of Honor champion Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, the Bloodpool Combat Club.
Bluey. the Bluey Combat
Club taking on Eddie Kingpin and Katsuyori Shibata.
Why? You could have made that 2 separate matches.
You only needed one.
You could have put Yuta and Shibata on the buy-in.
Perfect. You absolutely could have. There's perfect, but
Japan.
Kingpin and Cassidy following that Stadium Stampede is a show closer.
When's the next Ring of Honor pay-per-view? Because that's probably why that's not happening here. Because this one-on-one between Claudio and Kingpin has been long overdue.
As it sits right now, I don't even think they have. Is a final battle?
Possibly. To me, that's entirely too long. But pause.
Hey yo. We are. Yeah, that's 4 months away.
That's yeah.
Actually, 3.5. Well, yeah, 3.5.
You could have really done some cool stuff with it. Cause see, okay, something like Eddie Kingpin getting crowned at All Out is something that's like, oh, I didn't see that one coming. Boom. There's a reason for me to either buy it before it happens or buy it as a replay. Because you want to see Eddie Kingpin succeed, as do I. He liked one of our posts, so cool. He's filled out his application, his gang.
He's a hell of a guy.
Hell of a guy. All right, number 2.
Wait, did we pick a winner or loser?
I mean, do we really need to? I guess because it's the name of the segment, but geez, bro, does it matter? Bluey Combat Club ain't gonna win.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you. They and I'm gonna tell you, Yuta's the one taking the pin because that's all he's been doing the last 5 months.
Get your back tan, young boy.
Man. Big another number we have.
Numero 2.
Ooh, here's the other one. Here's the other one I was talking about.
Uh-oh.
I call him Hacksaw. Powerhouse Hobbs.
Here we go.
Taking on Miro.
Gang. This is the match I'm most intrigued about seeing. This is the match I was mentally thinking about when we had the conversation at the beginning of this episode about this is your opportunity. You're not being booked for Dynamite. You only really reside on Collision. You're not getting the airtime that maybe some people around watching feel like you should have.
Or that you feel like you deserve for that match.
Facts. So this particular instance is your opportunity to show up and show out. I feel like one or both of them have that mindset, and we're going to see something special if given proper time, which I don't see any reason for you not to give them proper time. Who else you going to give it to? Ricky Bobby. I don't know what I should do with my hands.
The one person you should be giving this other time to was affiliated with Will Hobbs. And he can't get it because he got suspended. I'm talking about Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing scuttlebutt online.
Oh, there's been a lot of scuttlebutt online
about Ricky Starks and who his opponent will be if he's able to wrestle on the pay-per-view.
We hear Ricky Steamboat gonna be in Collision, so
listen, bruh.
Ricky Starks is my leading candidate to have a last-minute match thrown onto the pay-per-view.
And it will be Ricky Steamboat. And you want to talk about
you can't risk that. You cannot risk that.
Let me pause this music real quick.
Oh.
Jacksonville, if you're listening.
They're not. They are, but they're not. They're listening, not hearing.
I stopped the music so you can pay more attention to me.
Wasting your oxygen.
Don't care. If you failed if you ever tried.
True. Carry on.
If you put Ricky Starks in a match with Ricky Steamboat, the last thing you're going to be calling the next promo from Ricky Starks after this match is a pipe bomb. You give that man a live mic, you are literally putting your company in the hands of someone who has absolutely nothing to lose and contracts to gain around the world, including in Stanford. If you don't believe me, just watch.
Here's what
beg
I'm
you,
saying.
don't do it.
I've seen the promotional graphic that's going around the internet, and I see what the proposal is going to be. I am 100% against that being the outcome. So if you haven't seen the graphic, it's supposedly that Ricky Starks is going to challenge Ricky Steamboat to a strap match. Under no circumstances are you going to see that. You hit 70-plus-year-old Ricky Steamboat with a belt, whether it's on free television or pay-per-view.
One time.
You are playing with the wrestling gods. You're liable to get your whole situation shut down.
Let's talk about science, though.
Nope.
Ricky Steamboat has been in shape the entire time I have been alive. So you know he's been in shape as long as you've been alive.
Actuals.
A 70-year-old man that gets hit with a strap on skin will rip like Sunday paper after a rainstorm.
Look, the wrestling gods have smiled on you with Sting, that you have avoided serious catastrophe with the way that you've been handling Steve Borden. But here's what I'm here to tell you right now. Ricky Steamboat is not to be put in any of these compromised positions that your brain comes up with. What would be the best solution is for Ricky Starks to challenge Ricky Steamboat to a strap match and Ricky Steamboat submit a substitute. That way, someone else who hasn't been getting time can possibly get some television time.
Who do you propose?
Hangman Page.
Even though he was just on All In?
Cowboy gimmick. That was the first thing that came to mind. The answer is, first of all, I doubt he can get in the, well, I take that back. This would be the 1 week he can get in the building on Collision. You see what I'm saying?
Booking.
You gotta look for the loophole. You gotta look for the loophole.
It's in the name right there.
Booking company. Now, who else? Like, who else could take that spot? You need a face who would stand up for Ricky Steamboat. I
tell you who it won't be.
Well, duh. Who won't it be?
Jericho, the last person to wrestle him on a pay-per-view.
Nah, we good. No, that's entirely too much crate digging. Out of there.
But there are pencil pushers that know about that one. You know what I mean? Like, that's not even like hard. That's not even a hard body.
When the last time you seen a show that was booked for us?
Carry the one. Has there been one?
Exactly.
Wait a minute, fam. Can we talk about the fact that we've seen indie shows book more for us than we have pay-per-views that we pay for?
Look,
I'm not talking about, like, these are in venues that you would probably deem as questionable until you walk into it and see it for yourself. But I guarantee you, we have had shows booked for the Broken Pencil Booking Company on purpose.
Why are you talking? Lance Archer actually will be a good pick for what we're talking about right now with the strap match.
I was 2-hour flight from Dallas.
You feel me? I just I pulled up the roster. Andrade.
He's still employed?
As far as I know. I'm not finna speculate on his employment status or any other status of his because that's none of my business.
You got a hot shot of gimmick. If not gimmick, a story. Well, do you? Well, no.
You just need somebody who Ricky Steamboat says, I won't. Same thing Jerry Lynn just did when he brought in Rob Van Dam. Okay, put Rob Van Dam on the list. He ain't doing nothing.
You about to make a mixtape, Suave.
I'm in the process of it as I'm scrolling.
I got a maxi single. We're gonna EP looking at. You're gonna put the same song. You're gonna put the same songs on the EP on the mixtape, ain't you? All of them.
Just add an extra verse. That's all you gotta do. More cowbell. Hey, Dustin Rhodes.
That stop the list right there. That's the one.
You see what I'm talking about?
Too many tie-ins. There's a close personal relationship there. It's anybody with half a brain will understand the science behind throwing Dustin Rhodes in there as a surrogate for Ricky Steamboat.
I got one that I bet ain't nobody thinking about. They were undisputed tag team champions together. This is that fuzzy period you always tell me about. Pause. 1993. They beat the Enforcers for the World Tag Team titles on a Clash of the Champions.
Steamboat and Dustin?
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about that.
When Steamboat came back from WWE.
The last time. So yeah, this is late 92, early 93. He was a mystery partner for Dustin Rhodes against Larry Zbyszko and Arn Anderson. So they were tag champs together for a while. Fun fact. Incredible. I do what I can. I be out here, mixing with the ones and twos. We put the whip on it. But you still ain't told us who ain't gonna win.
Whoever not named Ricky Starks.
That's not even a match.
If it is gonna be a match, then I mean
we went through the hidden world pipe, the warp zone to get to that match. The match is Miro versus Hobbs.
I got Hobbs. I don't even
not
care.
Winning.
I got Hobbs winning. Anybody not named Hobbs is taking the L. It's time to redeem. God's favorite
what is it? God's favorite stepson. What is it? God's favorite champion has no favor in this match.
He has denounced his partnership. Like apparently they ain't
vibing no more.
Nah. The terms and agreements expired. I'm taking Hobbs. The Book of Hobbs.
All right, we have one.
No, I'm finna be disappointed.
We have 1 and 6 left.
6.
You would.
I mean,
an 8-man tag team match. The AEW World Tag Team Champions, Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood, FTR.
Strap for cash.
And the Young Bucks taking on Bullet Club Gold.
Why?
Because
no. Why? No. Why? Why?
This is why I asked you to reserve your energy.
Oh my God, this is terrible.
Who ain't gonna win, Suave?
Me. Look, do you know that Jay White, Juice Robinson, and FTR have 2 classics under their belt in the last 90 days?
One of them was a 58-minute match that nobody expected on Collision. I still have that on my DVR. I'm planning on watching it tomorrow.
Touted as the greatest tag team match on broadcast television ever. So you couldn't just do the trilogy. You couldn't just give a 3rd installment. You had to shoehorn the Young Bucks into this.
Jay White.
No.
Jay White is so far, he's years ahead of his biological. And Juice Robinson has embodied Seth Rollins, Macho Man Randy Savage, himself.
Yup.
There's a little bit of Playboy Buddy Rose in there.
Oh, deep cut.
Deep cut.
Okay,
is there anybody I'm missing?
I'd have to really think about it.
If you take Eugene's moveset, Nick Dinsmore, you take his moveset.
I'll tell you who, and then I'm not trying to cheat the game when I do this either.
And you morph that moveset into a personality, it's Juice Robinson. Go ahead. What you got?
Terry Funk. older Terry Funk.
Crash and burn Terry Funk specifically.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the other one. Yes, good call out on that.
Any promo Terry Funk cut from 89 to like 97, 98, any of those. Anything he did that wasn't in Stanford from 89 to 98 got Juice Robinson flavoring on it. Pause.
So
what's the last one? One?
Yep.
All right.
YFN Darby All In versus Luchasaurus for the AEW TNT Championship. Yes, I did say Darby All In. I know what I said.
I'm gonna say YFN. Anybody not named YFN Darby ain't gonna win.
Listen, they have done so little for that TNT Championship, and I swear Christian Cage is stepping on glass without shoes on purpose with some of the promos that he's doing. And even though it's some of the best promo work we have seen and some of the most dastardly heel work we've seen, it means absolutely nothing. None of what he has said is no more than just a quick quip for and it goes away after that.
I mean, he's doing what he's being asked to do. He's elevating things. He's putting people in their proper perspective. Here's what I see potentially happening. YFN Darby ends up beating Christian. And then there comes the loophole that, well, Christian's not the TNT champion. Luchasaurus is. So then that's how you stretch the story out. But again, as we have previously discussed, Jacksonville doesn't necessarily, they pick and choose when they want to stretch the story out. And sometimes it just comes to an abrupt end. So I very much feel like Darby's who's gonna come out on top. I just don't know if they're gonna go ahead and give him the title or he's gonna have to stretch it out another 2 weeks and win it on Collision, because he's going to be the face of TNT for the sixth time, and at this point he should be defending the TNT Championship every week on Collision.
As should any TNT champion. Now that it's actually back on TNT,
we make this stuff simple enough. We made the playbook so you could run it.
Y'all got the TBS championship back on TBS.
You ain't got too many more Saturdays to be out here playing around. Football is coming back, and ain't nobody finna be out here just long suffering.
College football got a nice little roster lining up for the season. Y'all better keep on.
A famous urban philosopher once told me, "Ain't nobody got time for that. Get your act together."
Yeah, at least Luchasaurus ain't gonna win. Show at brokenpencilbc.com, brokenpencilbc@gmail.com, at brokenpencilbc on all things social. That's at brokenpencilbc on what?
Everything.
WWE. Help me out, Suave. I just your part. Payback. Thank you. Maybach music. Sweet.
With accusations, and most definitely not false accusations.
WWE Payback, you know who ain't gonna win, is on the channel. Tell them what to do, Suave, and take them to the house after you do it.
Like, rate, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend, then tell them again. Pencil pushers, heads up, pencils down. See, you're not trying to hold a belt up this week. Good job. Good on you. It's a nice shirt, though.
This is that version 1 BPP apparel.
It's that vintage drip.
Instant vintage drip is what that is.